Hey guys, welcome to Raw Customs. I'm your host, Patrick Rapolo, and on this episode, I'm going to be showing you how to make a custom grill mesh for your Jeep. So, the first thing you're going to want to do is go find you a mesh. I actually went down to Home Depot and actually found this one here. It's full of holes. Will allow good airflow to keep that Jeep nice and cool for you. The second thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and pick you up a bag of zip ties and some pad mounts. These actually have the little sticky on the back which you can peel off and stick to the back of their grill. They have slots in there that allow you to slide the zip tie through. This will allow you to secure your mesh to your grill. I recommend going ahead and grabbing some super glue to put on the back of those pads to add just a little bit more security to those pads to keep them stuck to the back of the grill. And you also want to go ahead and pick you up some paint and primer if you're planning on painting it, which I strongly recommend to give it that extra cool factor and customization that makes the Jeep just yours. Alright guys, let's see how to do it. I started out with the mesh that I bought at Home Depot. The mesh was laid in place on the back side of the grill. Then the height and the width marked. A pair of tin snips were used to cut the piece out. Next, a red pad was used to scuff the back side of the grill. And then some thinner was used to wipe it down and clean off any grease and oil. And then square zip tie mounts were pressed into place. I used 3 for every run. Next, the mesh was laid back in place and made marks where the zip ties would be pulled through. Then the marks drilled out. Next, the mesh was scuffed with the red pad and then prepared for paint. I sprayed on 2 coats of primer. That was followed up by 2 coats of black paint. I cut out a star stencil and then laid it in place, and then the rest of the mesh was masked off. For the star, I started with a base coat of white. The white was followed up by laying down 2 coats of green paint. Next, I dusted on some black paint to kind of give it that worn look. And the piece finished with a coat of clear paint. Once the paint was dry, the mesh was set back in place. Zip ties ran through the mesh and through the zip tie mounts. The zip ties pulled snug and the ends cut off. Alright guys, there you go, a custom mesh for your Jeep that's pretty inexpensive depending on what materials you go with, and actually gives you that custom look that you can design something that no one else can just go buy off the shelf. Alright, I want to cover a couple of mistakes that I made when doing mine. Number 1, go ahead and get you some super glue and glue those tabs down on the back of your grill. Mine actually, with the heat, they started coming loose. I had about half of them come loose, so I ended up having to redo. I just went ahead and redid all of them with some super glue, and since then everything stayed in place. Number 2, paint. Actually, for the star, the first time I actually painted with a fluorescent color. This is a Krylon, and it ended up just fading. So if you're gonna have it in the sun, don't use any type of fluorescent paint. I actually went back down and went with Duplicolor, and this is an engine paint is what I went with here. So this is what I recommend if you're gonna have any paint on the outside of the Jeep. Make sure you go ahead and get a good paint so that you don't have to redo it like I did. Alright guys, that's it for this episode. Hope it helps you on your build. Good luck, God bless, and I'll see you on the next one.